Hello there, welcome back. So this is part 2 of the Stone Miner build. If you missed part 1, please go check that out first. So this is what we got up to. The main front business end's pretty much done. We just put the refiners on. So now we'll just carry on, finish off the back. So with this, 2 vacuum tubes, a large chest. Yeah, I like to keep it up this way. And then we can delete all this bit, keep it flush. So this will hold the steering. So with this, just make sure it's level with the front, which it is. Drop the blocks out, leave 2 block gap for the wheel. And then we go for suspension. If you're building with no suspension, then just extend your blocks. But I do recommend using it. I think the suspension it does help. So we've got steering bearing, another block, and then bearings for the drive. A wheel on either side. Wheels help. Yeah, and we can get rid of these bits. I like to just make this a bit more solid. Again, if you're worried about bots and stuff attacking it, then yeah, build it out of a bit more durable material. But honestly, I've used it quite a bit now and I've not had any trouble. Touch wood. Yeah, I usually just try and put just a few blocks just to try and break up the harshness of the 90 degrees. Again, it doesn't matter really, it's just aesthetics. If you want to use ramp pieces, you know, like wedge pieces, and I think there's a 2x1, which is the smallest ramp in survival, to try and neaten it up a bit. Yeah, and the same with the back. I mean, again, it's personal preference really. If you want to smart it up a little bit more. That's a nice place to put the beacon. The hitch, if you wanted to do like a trailer, whatever your sort of setup is. So next we'll connect all the bearings. So 4-wheel drive. Make sure your bearings are going the right way. Always important. Happened too many times. Thinking, why the hell is this handling like this? It's terrible. Oh, yeah, the bearings the wrong way. Yeah. So yeah, make sure that. And the same with connect the seat to the engine. Again, there'll be one point where you'll do it and it will race away, or if you're on the lift, you're alright. But yes, just make sure, connect the seat. With the engine speed, I find this is more than enough. I use it just for like the travelling and the mining as well. If you wanted to slow it down for the mining, then go for it. But I think I've just got used to it on a set speed, so I leave it about there. And again, yeah, try and get level 5 as soon as you can. Just adds a bit more efficient on the batteries. The steering bearings. I say yeah, level 5, and then you get your bearing settings, which again very handy, especially for the rear wheel steering. and I had them on 70 degrees and 3 for the speed. I just found the 6 was a little bit jerky, so it just reduces that a bit. Again, you know, play around with it however you want. Play with the angles and the speed and whatever suits you. But yeah, I found the 70 and the 3 was good enough for me. So yeah, so that's them. So I'll just take it off the lift. Just make sure it's going the right way, which it is. And I think with that, just gives it, I think, just a nicer turning. Yeah, no, I quite like the rear steering, so yeah, I think it's quite handy. It's not used very often. I don't see it many builds. Most people go for like front wheel or 4-wheel steering, but I actually think rear wheel is far better for these sorts of machines. Again, that's just me. Okay, so the next stage, just build this up a bit more. And again, I usually just take a little bit off, just to take it off that harsh 90 degrees, really. If you want to do the beacon lights, just 2 bearings. I usually have one facing front, one facing the rear. I just think it gives it a nicer look when they're spinning round. And again, I connect them to the level 5 controller, which does the drills. Level 5 controller, you get up to 10 bearings. And the same with just lights. I actually like to put a couple on bearings. Find it works quite well. It just sort of throws the light out a bit better. And then a couple of just static ones. Paint them white. I do find sometimes if you paint them the light grey, gives it a bit more of a natural light. Again, whatever suits you. And then yeah, you can whack them up to 10. With these, if you've got any spare slots in your controllers, then you just hook them up. What's that, 3 and 4? And then I find on the first column between 30 and 45. We'll go for 45. These don't matter for that because they'll always be on it. That's the whole idea, really. So they're constantly at that angle. So yeah, it just throws the light out a bit more. I think it's quite a handy little thing. Okay, so for the bearings, so if you're using a level 5 controller, which I do recommend for the drills, on the second column, back them all up to 360. And then we want it on fastest speed and loop. Apparently, yeah, so the drills won't actually work on the controller if it's not at the fastest. So yeah, that's why it needs to be level 5. Fastest speed, loop. So that's that done. So we'll do. So I like the first function, which is going to be these bearings here on number 2 for the seat. Again, this is just how I set it up. You do it how whatever suits you. So I believe they were at 30 and about medium speed. The second function, which is these bearings, Just gives it a little bit more. I think I had them on 45, and again just mid-speed. Yeah, I believe that was it. So, got the drills going around. Oh yeah, just another thing with the drills. I like to think, I'm pretty sure I've seen it do it, but I couldn't be too sure. I'd have to do a bit of testing. But if you have the drills going into each other, when the stone hits, it literally throws it sort of in the middle. Makes it a little bit more effective. Again, I'm not 100%. I'm sure I've seen it, but I'd have to test it again just to be sure. Same with these ones. Just make sure they're going into the middle. I think it just takes a little bit of time to... Oh no, okay, I wasn't clicking it. Yeah, so that's the drills. As you can see, the beacons, they're sort of rotating. Yeah, and also connect them to the switch as well. So they'll turn on and off with the drills, which I think is quite a nice little effect. Yeah, so the second, so the first function I'd say is the main bit. Just make sure these bearings are all going the right way. Yeah, so I could go for a little bit more on there. So I had the pistons at 3, and the I suppose last function is this one, which I had on 4. So the pistons I had at 11 and about mid-speed. So we got the sort of first function, then we got 4, which is a bit more, and then we got 3, which is the pistons. So yeah, so you could go a bit more. Go a bit more on that. I'd say maybe go for 45, and we need to just do that minus, just so they're in like a raised position, just to help with driving. Obviously these will scrape along the ground, which is sort of the main idea. So when you are mining, the rocks don't just go under it, but I found they don't really affect the driving. And the same with these, really. It's sort of it's a good position for actually mining higher rock, and you've got the one to actually go down to start clearing up all the little bits that get thrown on the floor. Yeah, so you got that one, then the second one, and then I find as you're clearing up, as you use the pistons, rocks sort of get pulled into the middle there, and you can use it to then pull them back into these drills, which yeah, I find it works quite well. So we'll just go a bit more with them, so they're a bit more of an angle. Yeah, and that's it, guys. So I'll have to do a third part, which will just be tidying up, and I'll show you how to change these a little bit to put saws on. So yeah, please join me in part 3. Alright, cheers guys, thanks for watching.